Greetings and welcome to another narration done by DrTorment. The following story may contain some sensitive topics. Consider that your one and final warning. Now, let us proceed.
Would you trade your life for another?
I had just swerved off the road to avoid hitting this stranger, and this was the last thing I expected him to say after I got out to check on him. Are you damn mental? What are you doing out here? I steamed. You could have died. All I received back was him giving off a dry laugh.
Because I knew you'd miss.
I looked over to the side of the road where my car was resting halfway in a ditch, the front end completely totaled. I just missed him after he appeared out of nowhere, and I'd lost control. Furiously, I turned back to him. "Do you see what you've done?" I pointed to my vehicle, but all he did was wave me off.
We were meant to meet.
Marvelous. A genuine lunatic, I decided. I started heading towards the ditch, but he called out to me.
No, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Bad idea to waste this chance, you know.
Just by hearing him, I was practically snarling and whirling around. "What do you want?"
You didn't answer my question.
What question?
Would you trade your life for another?
I stared at him at a loss for words. I mean, what kind of a question is that even?
Well, would you? Because you are talking to someone who could make it happen. A once-in-this-lifetime opportunity.
It took a good minute before I had the words to muster, but I finally said, "You're crazy. I'm going back to my car. You stay away from me, understand?"
Who said you ever left?
I immediately froze in place, and the stranger gave me a sly smile.
Go ahead. Have a look for yourself.
I moved forward slowly, inching towards the driver door. Through the window, I could see myself slumped over, blood dripping from a wound on my forehead. I just breathed. Holy shit. And I was backing into the stranger, never hearing him approach. Am I dead?
Tough break, eh? Deal still on the table, though.
I looked into his cold eyes and asked him, "Who are you?"
Oh, just someone who can help you with that.
I looked back at my body, despair gripping me. My wife, my children, what would they do without me? I looked him in his dead eyes again. What happens if I take this deal? The stranger's dark eyes seemingly flashed as he replied.
You take my place. You'd stand here until someone else comes along and you convince them to trade.
And what happens to you then?
I go back to my old life. Like nothing ever happened. Just like the guy before me. See, it doesn't really matter who lives or dies, as long as the balance remains.
He explained while extending his palm.
So, what do you say? Do we have a deal?
And so I reached forward, hesitating just before we made contact, but another glance at my body persuaded me enough, and right then and there, I shook his hand.
Good luck, friend.
He said those words while his face splitted into a grin. And then he was gone, and I was alone. I've had a lot of time to think about what I agreed to ever since, and exactly who or what I made this deal with. Because since then, I haven't seen a single car on this dark road, or a single star in the sky. And with that, our session has concluded. With this, I would also like to take a moment to thank all of you sweet wicked people for joining me in this narration. Do you desire more? Then tickle the bell icon and like this video, and of course do leave a comment behind with your thoughts. Lastly, for those willing, consider joining us on our Patreon page and help support the channel yourself personally with all the added benefits therein. This was DrTorment bidding you adieu, and remember, don't fall asleep ever.